We're gonna officially get started here. Welcome everybody to the final installation of 2022 education with PromoStandards. For those
The
of you who
ending.
suffer, for those of you who suffered through the first 10 months of just me by myself, you've noticed that Amy's joined me for the last 2 months, so it's a much improved experience, much more thought out process, not just me slinging a bunch of stuff at you every month. So welcome, we're excited. I'm John Norris from Starline, joined by Amy Rabideau, Vice President of Product at Facilis Group. And we're gonna, try to keep this a little interactive today. We're gonna kind of bring you up to speed of what's brewing today and tomorrow in PromoStandards, some Tech Summit things, and we also want to wrap this up at the end and try to, hopefully elicit some feedback. I know a lot of times we ask for feedback and people are kind of shy. Today's the day to fire off questions, and for that, I'm going to turn this over to Amy, and she's going to kind of hammer the what's now of PromoStandards.
All right. So we have been busy. So the committees, the work groups, and the board have been busy preparing for the annual members meeting, which will be at the Tech Summit on Monday, the 20th of February. So we're going to send out an invite. We'll send out an email. We'll post it everywhere. So just so all of our members know, we will have our annual meeting where we kind of give you the state of affairs, talk about budget, all those fun legal things that we have to do. We'll do that in person while we're in Tampa.
Everybody's favorite meeting, approving and reviewing the budget for the year. So I think in the past, there's always been a lot of questions of, what happens with my membership money, what happens with my dues, what is PromoStandards investing in terms of, resources, and that's a great time to get a full presentation. I'm assuming Phil from Kuzi Group will present the budget. So it's kind of a under the hood member meeting only, to where you get the ins and outs, and it's your time to have the floor for PromoStandards if you so choose. So
okay, and we'll probably have a few things to vote on. We've got some things in our pocket. So besides the budget, there'll be some other things to vote. So it's going to be a real fun meeting because we'll finally be in person again. Last year's was virtual, so we're pretty excited about it. We've also been wrapping up tasks around the budget, filling open spots on committees and work groups, Tech Summit, and then also today we're going to talk about what we're going to do at PPO Expo for Members Lounge and the business session. So we were able to secure location and put together a presentation for our business leaders and any members that are going to be at PromoStandards. So we're also going to talk about our new service provider committee. So we're really excited about that. So some of you might be wondering, what is our service provider committee? So back in, I think it was the fall, maybe September, I created a service provider committee charter and made the motion to the board to create a standing permanent committee for service providers at PromoStandards. So after the unanimous vote, the committee was formed. Dave Schultz was selected as the committee chair, and he's been working hard over the last couple months to fill out the committee. So their kickoff meeting was actually yesterday, and they reviewed their charter. They set goals for 2023, and there's going to be more to come on this actually at their Tech Summit. We'll be talking about there, but we're also going to do an industry press release on January 3rd. So you can see here, this is our mission for the Service Provider Committee, and you can see all of our members. We're so excited about this. Service providers have been such an integral part of PromoStandards, and we just want to make sure there's a quick path for their suggestions, their path to our roadmap and strategic planning group. So we're pretty excited.
Amy doesn't want to, Amy's a service provider herself, so I don't, she definitely does not come at this with bias, but I think we at PromoStandards want to make sure we have that kind of collaborative place for service providers to have their input known in the both PromoStandards arena as well as the industry arena. It's really the only collection that exists today where you get probably, half plus of the industry's buying power going through a central entity. And we've seen the largest growth of endpoints and adoption happen on both the supplier or serving suppliers and serving distributors through the service providers. So we thought it was very important to make sure that they had a home and a real strong voice. Last year, one of the big things we took up at the end of the year was ensuring that suppliers, distributors, and service providers were all treated at the table equally in PromoStandards. So, they were treated like a third-class citizen up until last year, and I think we corrected that and very much realized their importance of the process and bringing technology solutions to the industry. So, if you look at this list of people on here, it's a very impressive cross-section of technology representation. Very perennial industry leaders. And sorry, Chris, that you are not Christ, but we'll just call you Chris. So
sorry, Chris.
Okay. But
totally my bad.
It's all good. Yeah, so we're super excited about this one.
Yeah. So, and I think what's important is that this is going to be, it'll continue to grow. There'll be work groups from this, and we'll be announcing what they're going to tackle first at the Tech Summit.
Awesome. All right, this one this is a big shout out for Stuart, who hammered in the Slack general channel about a month ago to crickets. And we were trying to figure out a lot of the logistics of what we were going to do at Expo. We obviously at PromoStandards, our focus is very much heavily on tech content for our Tech Summit. But we realized that there is a audience at Expo where the industry tends to gather in its largest form. And we wanted to make sure that we were going to have a presence both for meeting members' needs, but most importantly, evangelizing PromoStandards to the business community, because we realized that a buy-in from the tech community is always not the same as getting the buy-in from some of the people who are writing checks. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something twofold on Monday in Vegas. Monday's a big travel day. A lot of people get there throughout the day. And we want education day, right? It's kind of, some suppliers are setting up. It's kind of a hot mess, but we're going to be right in the middle of the education day arena. We're all the second level of Mandalay. We're going to set up all day long. We'll have different committee members, board members. Jessica's going to hold down the fort, and we're going to set up a members lounge for PromoStandards members. So if you're anybody in your companies who's a member of PromoStandards, wants to come by, say hi. I think the standards committee actually just is setting up their own committee meeting in there. So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. But if you want snacks, internet, whatever you want, swag, we're going to have lots of swag to kind of hand out to members. It's kind of it is what we do as an industry. So we'd be remiss if we didn't participate. So if you're in the area, we'll get the word out as loud as we can after today that this is going down. So that'll be the member side of it. And then the education session from 1 to 2, if you all as members want to show up, you're more than welcome. I would encourage you to reach out to your distributor, supplier, service provider community network and invite the business leaders who are curious about and not fully sold on PromoStandards. And what we're going to do is it's going to be a kind of a tag team between myself, Eric Schoenberger at HIT, and Catherine Graham at CommonSkew. We're going to give the different perspectives of ROIs of PromoStandards, kind of the what is at a higher level, the power of PromoStandards, and get that service provider, distributor, and supplier ROI impacts and deliver that to the entire industry. So we have room for 180. We've had 150 plus at some of these meetings. So Jessica, Amy, and our marketing committee are going to be sending out as some registration information for the session as we go forward. But it'll be an awesome time. Knowing us, if you've been around us, we'll make sure we find a way to make it fun. But if you also just want some snacks throughout the day, you'll know where to hit us up.
Yeah, and just hot off the presses from Jessica, standards committee meeting would be from 2 to 4. So right after the business session.
And what, it's kind of seeing where the sausage is made. They're trying to wrap up the last pieces of how the Order Status 2.0 service interacts with an order management service and really put the final pieces on that to be fully launched, demoed, and detailed at the Tech Summit, which Amy's about to splash here on the next slide. So it's one of the few times where we can get everybody together. So taking advantage of it where we can. So more details to follow shortly.
Oh, and don't forget, we'll have the Conway Cup there so you can get your picture taken.
Yeah, if
The
you
members
are a
lounge.
hackathon winner, you could definitely slide in and get some cool picture or photo ops. So we'll have fun with it.
Mhm.
All right, Amy, what else we got?
So for the tech summit, just wanted to remind everyone your reservations rolled over. If you have not booked your hotel and travel arrangements, I would recommend doing it now because we're right in the middle of spring break, February 19th to 21st down in Florida. It's a great time to be in Tampa. So I would definitely finish your arrangements now. We will be announcing our special keynote speaker soon, along with our volunteer opportunities. If you remember last time, we're still going to go into the schools, so you'll have opportunity to talk to future business leaders of America in local schools, but we're also working on a food bank distribution warehouse opportunity in case that was more your speed. So more to come on those. There'll be some sign-up sheets happening. And then also just to remind you, our updated agenda has been posted at PromoStandards.org. So we've had a couple switches with some of the hosts of some of the breakout sessions and the roundtables. So please take a look accordingly. Also, we have notification of our annual members meeting there too. Did I forget anything, John?
No, I mean, look, this was the event that we got hurricaned out of.
Yes.
Shout out to those people in Florida still recovering. I think we still made the right move. But
I
yeah, it's
think so too.
it's going to be awesome. I think we're 130. We're hoping to push 130, 140 people. Be the largest tech event ever in the industry. Previous tech events that we were kind of mostly running, we're kind of hovering in that 100 level. So if you want to network with your peers, this is the place to do it. If you want to, attend the members meeting for PromoStandards, this is the place to do it. It's going to be an awesome gathering. And for those of you who live in cold weather climates like me in Buffalo, New York, where we're going to get feet of snow this weekend, it's warm and sunny in Florida in February. There is a place where the sun shines in February. So
it's beautiful.
Yes.
As John mentioned, there'll be a lot of impromptu gatherings of the committees and some of the work groups. And also some things that we're not quite ready to announce that you'll be able to vote on and some new services and things like that. So more to come on that, but it will be posted either in Slack or at PromoStandards.org.
Awesome sauce.
So just also call out to our sponsors. We couldn't do this without them. Thank you. We have only one spot left for a sponsor, so they went fast. So we're very excited. You'll see on all of our marketing where we thank them. If you have a chance to say thank you for sponsoring PromoStandards, please let them know. We couldn't do all this without them.
We added a new one with Spectre down there, so obviously making a splash with their new Vegas facility that just launched this week. So
perfect timing.
Yeah, good timing, right? It's a little rushed, I think, from what I hear, but it's exciting news for them. I know, we've had some long time PromoStandards involvement that is now taking over the technology leadership at Spectre. So shout out there. Dave Jackson also going to be speaking at the Tech Summit, so even better.
Yes.
But yeah, it's exciting. These people are some OG PromoStandards representation and some very influential companies and service providers, suppliers, and distributors in the industry. So looking forward to it. So thank you, sponsors. All right. So here's the Q&A portion. We made it through the first section in 13 minutes, which is exciting. Obviously we have our website. So here's what this works. If you have questions and you want to get involved here in the action, you can raise your hand in the chat. Jessica will promote you as a panelist. If you just want to just shout out at us and bark at us, you're more welcome to do that. It's kind of like the yearly AMA of PromoStandards. Amy and I, if we don't know the answer, we'll make up something pretty cool and hope that you'll be like, yes, this is awesome.
And we'll get point. We gotta keep track of points at who makes the biggest one up.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have questions, you can fire them in the chat. I'll read the chat. You can do Q&A. If you just want to say hi, we'll accept that as well. Just looking through the list, I know there's a lot of you who don't like to stay quiet.
One thing, John, that we definitely wanted to hear ideas for education sessions in 2023.
Yeah, so if you don't want me to recount in detail every single standard once a month for all of 2023, we'd appreciate some education ideas. So Amy, if you want to stop the screen share, and then we'll see
Yeah, I
if
can do
that'll
that.
promote, we can get some people in there. Yeah, raise your hand if you have a question. If not, Jessica is going to do panelist promotion roulette and just pick on you and just make you show up here. But if not, Amy and I'll just chill here for a few minutes, but looking to hear any feedback, questions, comments, whatever you got.
We
I'll make
did
up
get a
something for you.
question about what time's the member meeting at the Tech Summit.
It is
So-
that evening at 5 to 6 p.m. on the first Monday night. Is that what it is?
Yes. Mhm.
Look at that off the top of the head. So thanks, Mike. Mike's brave enough to answer a question.
Yeah, and to go along with kind of follow up on the education ideas that if we've done one member spotlight so far, we'll be doing 2 a month. So at the beginning of each of our education sessions, we would also highlight those member spotlights and talk about how they use PromoStandards in real life case studies. So any ideas along with case studies or marketing ideas or education topics, we're totally open to.
If you want to be involved in a member spotlight, if you think you're doing something cool with PromoStandards that you want to let the community and all members know, hit up Jessica, Amy, or myself, and we'll make sure that somewhere along the first few months there that we give you a shout out and kind of highlight what you're doing in PromoStandards. We love that content.
I promoted
Monty Mims, who actually had a question about a local Tampa person. Let's see if we're gonna get Monty here. Sometimes it's clunky, but sometimes it works.
Looks like he's on mute.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry about that. I was typing and then I got added in to where I could talk.
How's it going, Mike?
Curious, I'm fairly new from Sanmar, catching up with the PromoStandards stuff. Historically, has there been any outreach to technology systems that are more rooted in the decorated apparel side?
Great question. And I think that's where some of our service provider committee, it's kind of the point of that. We at one point, we've talked to different decorator software that's out there. They are very much interested in PromoStandards, and maybe this is something that we can challenge the standards committee with is where do they fit, right? And where do they, let's talk product data. Is the, in terms of obviously order status or shipment notification that they can easily adapt, but in a service provider or a decorator world, is the product that they feed back into PPC a regurgitation? Let's just take Sanmar, for example. Sanmar's blank goods, but decorated, or are they feeding and then thus quadrupling the product data in PromoStandards, or are they serving back in their product data individual services they offer in terms of screen printing, one color, all of this stuff, and PPC and product decoration? And I think that's where the gap has been. I know, for example, let's take HIT, right? HIT takes Sanmar products and regurgitates them in their product data feeds as a fully decorated piece. Now you can call them a decorator per se. So, I think probably in Jay, also at the old home front there at Sanmar, that might be some good clarification to get out of the best practices committee of what's the PromoStandards best practice recommendation for how a service provider should adopt different standards. Not service provider, a decorator adopt different standards within PromoStandards. But there hasn't been a clear answer, but they're obviously a very influential part of the industry. So it's a great question. Amy, any insights there?
No, I think it is important. I mean, especially when you talk about partial shipments and, tying everything together with order status and order shipment notification, that's even preliminary to product pricing and config, right? So I think there's definitely some room there, different levels of acceptance.
Yeah. Monty, go hammer on Ajay down the hall from you. Tell him he's got some new stuff to do with the best practices committee.
Will do, will do.
Anybody else have questions? That was a great question. And that's, look at that, we could turn that into an education session. If we got, once we get that, we'll get some different decorators involved in promo standards and, have them walk through their experience and how they are either currently adopting promo standards or want to implement it into their workflow. So
I think that's such an important part of using promo standards, endpoints, data, all that great thing, all those great things, but it's really, okay, how do I interpret that? How do I use it for a competitive advantage inside my business process? I know Catherine is going to host a session during the technology summit on how to take promo standards to the shop floor, and whether it's, blanks, decoration, or regular supplier shop floor, or distributor who ships out of their own facility. There's different ways you can use promo standards to augment your business processes. Just realized that was a lot of words, sorry.
yeah, you got it though. Anything else? I know there's some of you lurking in the shadows here. If you have any questions, fire them away. Also use this as a plug to participate in Slack as much as you can. There's some pretty interesting conversations going on at PPC. You always tend to find the most in the weeds conversations in the product pricing configuration channel. Robert just chimed in with a pretty lengthy response. If you ever have those technical questions, fire those away in Slack. At some point, somebody will get interested in answering, and then some conversations kind of go into a downward spiral of very detailed. So fortunately, we have people like Robert on our technology or our standards committee who are living this stuff day to day. And if he doesn't, or they don't know the answer, they can always take it back to the committee and try to get a more consensus, or the best practices committee and get a more consensus answer on what's recommended. So anything else?
Looks like we've got another one here.
What
It
you got,
would seem that user adoption of technology in general has grown significantly throughout the last 3 years. Are we seeing those gains in the number of members and engagement?
Short answer, yes. Long answer, speaking from put my Starline hat on, from terms of adoption, the largest adoption growth has come from people being serviced by the service providers in terms of sheer numbers. Now, the I would say largest request in terms of traffic of promo standards is coming from the largest entities in the industry, right? Your large e-commerce companies, your large distributors, large suppliers, and then the service providers are, I think, more conscious in how they request data. That's just because of the scale at which they're doing it. So from a request adoption overall, that's great. Membership is very vibrant in promo standards. Amy also heads up our membership and marketing committee. Every month there's a lengthy list of promo standards membership that is either coming on board or renewing. We have a very high renewal rate, which is very good for a nonprofit, and it's third-ish year, call it the second, third year of membership. So, I think can we get better and reach more farther into industry? Yes. I think one of our one of the things we're looking forward to is utilizing that service provider committee to reach our tentacles into places. Kevin from ASI, the CTO of ASI, is on that committee. They serve a 20,000 distributor base that we might not have reached into the past. So we're excited to see how that committee can foster a more collaborative environment for the companies that are serviced by promo standard service providers. So,
yes, I would just echo everything that John said, that just the amount of new members coming on board, just the reach through social media, so many questions that come on, and we're really building the structure underneath the board and all of our volunteers with our committees and work groups, so that when someone asks a specific question, we can put them in contact with the correct member to help guide them, give them suggestions. If it's a new member coming in and they're a supplier, we team them up with the supplier or service provider or distributor, like business type that they are, so they can really learn from the trenches of what's the best way to engage and the best steps for them to start implementing the standards.
Anything else? How's it going? Monty, you get a free t-shirt. Being a free PromoStandards t-shirt.
I'd say maybe a pen too. Let's give him a pen. Yeah.
He respects getting a free t-shirt, being a SanMar employee. All right. What else? Anything else? If not, then we'll thank everybody for stopping by. Always hit us up in Slack. Amy and Jessica and myself very active. All the board members, committee chairs. There's 400 plus people in Slack, so that's your quickest way to get in contact with anybody in this industry in the tech community. So, all right. Anything else, Amy?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right, everybody. Peace out. Enjoy your Tuesday. Happy holidays, all that fun stuff from PromoStandards peeps.
And
Later.
see you soon.